Hi everyone, this is Rajkumar. This video we are going to learn how to write a simple Java program along with how to set up Java in your local. Okay, the previous video we have seen what is the difference between JDK, JRE and JVM. After that what we have seen is like how Java works if you are trying to run a Java program, what will happen behind the scene that we learned it in the previous videos. Okay, so first of all where I can download JDK that we will learn it. This is the website where I download JDK. It's actually open JDK. You can also download it from here. It's open source. Like if which version you want to download, it will be available here. You can download it. I will mention this link in the description. If you want, you can use that. I already downloaded the JDK 20 and store it in my local. This is present here, and like we know, right, like this is the bin folder of JDK. This is where I can see all the command or like all the applications present here. Like if I use a Java C command, it's we know this is for compilation purpose. What it'll do, it'll actually call this Java C application. Then if I want to run a Java program, I will use Java command, right? What it'll do, it will call this Java application. So it will present in the bin folder of JDK what I downloaded. How system will know that it will present here? I need to mention it somewhere, then only it will understand, right? Okay, to understand it, first of all I'm opening command window. Consider I am giving Java hyphen version, sorry, hyphen version I'm giving. Since Java is the command, it's present in bin folder, but it doesn't know to the system will throw error that Java is not recognized input internal or external command. What we can do, if we add it in a path variable of this session itself will help to identify the system that it will present, the command will present the particular folder. How we can do that? I can probably copy this and I can add it like that, path. If we give this and if I try to access the same command, it will work. It will actually show what is the version and other things, right? It identify the Java command or Java application. Since we define the path here or we introduce or override the path variable here, right? That is why it identify where exactly Java application or Java command is present. What is the disadvantage of this one? Like I can't use it in another command window or command section. It will only visible to this session. If I close this and if I open another session and try to execute the same command, it may not work. Java version, it will throw error. So what we can do, we can add it in an environment variable. We can add this path into environment variable path, then it will work. Like how we can access, like in control panel variable, if you open, then edit environment variable path, edit new, control V. Okay, okay. If I give, I added the particular path into my environment variable. Now open a command window and try the same command, it will work because like I added this in the environment variable. Okay, common place which I added. This is how you can set Java in your local. Fine, right? Like we will now learn how to write a simple Java program. Trying to open a notepad. In C and all we know, right? Like if we want to execute a C program, what we will do, we will have a main method, and when we call the main method from C, when compiler compile it, and when we try to run this application, it will start run from a main method. No, so that's what we are going to do now. So now I am going to write a simple main method and see what we will do. We will actually have a println function or printf function. It will act like we will, if we have printf function and have some command or string inside, like it will actually print that in a display, right? The same thing we are going to do now. System dot out dot println. Okay, so this is the command I'm using it, and I'm just passing a string dot high. I want to print hi into a display. That's why like I have written this command. Now if I run this, if I save and run this, will it work? We'll see. In the workspace I'm just keeping the name as test.java. Okay, it's stored there as a test.java. Now I am opening a command window, trying to execute with first compile. I want to compile this, right? Like Java C test.java. See, what is the error we are getting? What is the error which we are getting is like we are seeing a method, but it is expecting class interface enum or record. That is what Java C, the compiler, is expecting. So why it is expecting any class interface or enum or record means, consider in C we have main method can be present anywhere, and if we are calling that method, it will like when we are actually try to execute the program, it will try to search where the main method present and it will execute. No, here also Java also execute a main method only. It will actually start a main method only. But Java, the definition is the method should present any inside any of the class. If I create a object, like we have seen like what is object, what is class in the previous video, right? Like if I create a object and try to access the method from object, for that also the method should present in a class, no? And if I want to directly access some method, that also should present inside a class. I can't directly execute or call the method anywhere, like it has to present inside a class, or like present inside interface enum or record. Okay, that is why it is expecting, it is actually expecting any one of this. Like I can probably like use a class for this example. I can create a class and I will keep this method inside. We'll see like how it is working. Class test, I'm keeping it like that. Okay, so to understand, if you don't know what is class, and if you actually not seeing a previous video, probably to understand that, like I'm just telling you that like class is kind of data structure. Okay, how I need to structure my data and how I need to manipulate the data with the function, that all present in a class. Okay, now if I try to give the same command, if I try to access the same command, what will happen? We'll see. It is throwing another error. What is the error we are getting is invalid method declaration, return type is required. We, what is return type? We probably like if you work on any other language, right, C or something, like you know what is a return type, right? Return type is nothing but what I'm going to return, what type of data I'm going to return out of this function. That is what it will, the return type. If I want to return some integer, then the 1 or 2 3 4 kind of some whole number, if I want to return, then I can keep the return type as integer. If I want to return some string, meaning that hi, some word, if I want to return, then I can keep return type as string. If I want to return some character a b c, then I can keep return type as char. Okay, this case first we will try with int. How it is working, we'll see. Just trying with int. Okay, now we will see what it is coming. It is coming return statement is missing. Before, like what it came as invalid method declaration and that type is required. Now it is showing that missing return statement. Yeah, since we mentioned that int as a return type, we need to return some integer for this, no? So we'll try to return it. Return 1. We will execute it now. Now it compiled. We'll try to run that. Test. It is throwing error that main method, it's throwing error that main method not found in class test, and please define a main method as this. Okay, we already have the main method defined, right? Why it is showing that main method not found and it is asking us to create a main method? We need to understand, right? Like, see, like it's actually, yeah, whatever we have defined with return type int, what it will do, it will actually return some integer out of this function. If you are calling from any of the function, if you are calling a function A from function B, and if you are returning integer from function A, then function B will use the returned integer and it will do some manipulation or calculation with that integer. But what we are doing here is like we are calling this main function from Java. Java, whatever we returned, it won't do any calculation, right? Like it will actually, the calculation will actually happen inside a Java program, and Java command is calling this main method. It won't take any return or statement, or it won't actually get any value out of it if you are passing any returned value. That is why it is asking us to use void main. Like it doesn't expect any return statement out of the main function. That is why it's asking us to use void main. We will try with void. How it is working, we'll see. Yeah, we tried with void. We'll see it is working or not, we'll see. And it create a class file. Meaning that it accepts void, right? Like so, since like it doesn't need any data to come up or come out of this main method, no, that's why like we can specify void a certain type. Now we will see we have a class file generated. Will it work or not? We will see. Like how we can check is like if I use Java command and call the test class, it will give the, it will execute. No, yeah, it executed. What we are getting, runtime error. What is the error we are getting is main method not found in class test. Please define main method as this signature we can use. Okay, so we know that, right? The main method we have defined. Why it is asking us to define a main method in this way, we'll understand. So first one is like Java is calling this main method. No, when Java calls, this main method should be visible, right? Like we if we are keeping that in some class, the class inside a thing, if I want to access this inside thing, I kept something inside a class, I want to access it from outside, the visibility is important, right? That is why Java is recommending or asking us to create or define a main method with public usability. That is why it is expecting public access modifier initially. Okay, let's give public. Yeah, you can probably try with some other access modifier like private, protected, right? Like a default you can try with the, if you're not specifying public, it's a default, it didn't work. That's why we got this error. No, uh, so it is actually expecting public access modifier in main method, then only like it's easy for them to access. No, now Java, it is trying to access the main method. The main method is present in class. We are not going to create a instance or like a object of this class and trying to access. No, it is through class it is accessing a main method. In the last video what we have seen, if we want to access a class variable, the class variable should have a static keyword, right? If we have a static variable or static method, I can access it from class. I don't need to access or create an object, and from object I don't need to access, because these variable or these classes stick to or tag to the class. It is not specific to any of the object. Since Java is calling this main method from class or through class, then this function should have static keyword. This function should be a static function. That is why it is expecting a static keyword in it. Okay, okay. Now the next one is, it is expecting string array of args. That is a parameter it is expecting, right? Why we have it is like, if you want to pass some value to main method, then this parameter will be useful. Now we are not passing it, it is not required, right? Okay, let's see, like is it working or not, we'll see. it is actually expecting this signature, exactly this signature. Even if you're passing value to main method or not, you should have the signature. So that is a mandatory one. Okay, so we will define it such a way. Now we will try. Okay, now it's written right. What we understood now is, like, if we want to have a main method should present inside a class, and that should have the main method should have a signature that public static void main, and that has a parameter string array of argument. Then only when we use java command to call the particular class which already compiled, right, it will identify the main method and execute it. If we are not following this procedure, then it won't execute whatever we added inside, whatever instruction which we added inside the main method. Okay, now we understood that rule, right? Like, how to I define a main method. Then second one, like, first of all, like I told, no, like I actually created a class. This class name, is it mandatory, do I need to have a same name what I have it in a file, right? Like, same name, do I need to keep it in a primary class what I define inside the file? Is it mandatory? Actually, it is not mandatory, but it's recommended. It's recommended to have same file name and a primary class name. Like, I can define multiple class inside the same Java file, but I should have primary class in the Java file, right? The primary class name and the file name should match. That is a recommendation, not a mandatory rule. Consider, like, I'm actually changing this class name as, like, try. Okay, try. This is a class name I'm going to keep. I'm just removing this test.class. If you want to compile it, I compiled. It generated a class file with the try as the name. So whatever class name which we have given, in the same name it has created a class file. It didn't throw any error. Okay, if you want to execute and try, yeah, we will execute. See, like, we try to find test, like we try to execute test, since we don't have test class present, right? We have only try class, no? How we need to execute Java? Now how we need to execute Java try? That's a class only present, no? So if I use that and run it, it work fine. I should not use test class because that's a file name, that's not a class name, right? Like, the same class name, whatever it compiled the same name I need to use. Now I use it, work fine. So with that, like, what we understood is the primary class name and file name should not be same. It is not a mandatory rule, but it's a recommendation to have the primary class name and file name should match. That's a recommendation. Okay. uh, okay, what we learned out of this video is, first of how to download a JDK, how to set up a Java in your local, and how to write a simple Java program, that we learned out of this video. Okay, hope you understood everything clear. Thanks for watching.